The woman just wanted to take a shower, unaware a stranger had already broken in. At first, the man noticed nothing unusual, but as he slowly approached the bathroom with a knife, he realized something seemed off with her eyes. To confirm his suspicion, he took advantage of her opening the door and kindly gave her towel a gentle nudge. Only then did he discover she was blind. She wrapped herself in the towel and went to change, then carried her cat into the kitchen. What she didn't know was, her husband already lay in a pool of blood, yet and remained oblivious, casually preparing his meal. But when she reached into the cupboard for plates, she suddenly slipped on the blood on the floor. Startled, she quickly felt around with her hand and realized the liquid on the floor wasn't water. As she felt her way upward, she found a person sitting on the floor. Upon recognizing him as her husband, Annie instantly turned pale with terror. She had no idea what had happened in the house. She turned and tried to run outside, but after only a few steps, she was blocked by the intruder. Only then did Annie realize a criminal had broken into the house. She demanded to know what he wanted, but the man didn't speak. Instead, he tossed something at her feet to intimidate her, seeming to revel in the thrill of bullying her. What he didn't know was that though and couldn't see, she knew the layout of her home intimately. Without a word, she charged toward the bedroom by feel, then swiftly locked the door behind her. She then deftly located her laptop, unlocked it with voice commands, and sent out a distress signal. This enraged the intruder outside. He stormed onto the balcony, smashed the window, and tackled Anne to the floor. Realizing all men were cut from the same cloth, and immediately played the beauty ploy. She claimed she was freezing cold and asked him to fetch her a coat. Seeing she posed no threat, the intruder unhesitatingly untied her. Just then, his phone rang. Hearing him leave the room, Annie swiftly grabbed a coat, concealing a camera behind her back. As soon as he returned, she smashed it against his head, seizing the moment, and dashed toward the exit. Finding the elevator unresponsive, she decisively chose to climb the stairs, but the criminal wasn't about to let her escape. He pursued relentlessly from behind, assuming and couldn't see. He was certain she couldn't get far, soon, and reached the basement, with the criminal hot on her heels, to survive, and hid in a corner. Just then, a familiar voice suddenly called out.
Who's that?
It was the neighborhood patrol security guard, and shouted for him to call the police immediately, but the guard had no idea what was happening, and was swiftly taken out by the assailant. Hearing no more movement around her, and dared not stay hidden any longer, she quickly fled the basement. She began frantically fleeing along the barbed wire fence, constantly screaming for help. Soon she reached the main street, where a kind-hearted man spotted her. He hurried over to ask what had happened. Learning that someone was chasing and trying to kill a woman, he thoughtfully escorted Anne back to her home, and thought she had finally escaped danger. But the moment she returned home, the criminal followed her inside, and without a word, he grabbed her by the throat. It turned out they were all part of the same gang. Only then did the bald man reveal the reason. Annie's husband was a robber. Not long ago, he and several accomplices pulled off a big job, but he secretly pocketed all the loot. They had come to retrieve their share. Annie insisted she knew nothing about it, but then the bald man noticed something alarming. The mural on the wall seemed off. He ordered his men to tear it down. Sure enough, they found a large stash of cash hidden behind it. They quickly packed the money and left, hearing the door shut, and locked it from the inside, and collapsed exhausted onto the floor, falling asleep. When Anne finally opened her eyes again, night had fallen, but suddenly, she caught a whiff of a sweaty stench filling the house. Terrified, she scrambled toward the door, but the very next second, it turned out the criminals hadn't left her home at all. They'd been hiding, watching her every move.